After becoming the contractual wife of a cold, domineering tycoon, I spent every day scheming to extract money from him. Who knew that after he suffered a car accident and lost his memory, he'd transform into an infatuated romantic? Trembling with anxiety, I continued pocketing cash while desperately trying to push him toward his first love by luxing. Yet one day, to my shock, the amnesiac tycoon fixed his gaze on me and purred. Yuan, my body's fully recovered now. Don't you want to do something about it? Counting the balance in my bank account, 10,000, 100,000, million, my lips curved into a grin so wide it strained my cheeks. Before, I'd had to endure dinner dates with Lulan every night. Now that by luxing was back, I was finally free. Just picturing my imminent wealthy, blissful single life made me stifle laughter beneath the blankets. Lulan had promised a massive payout when our contract ended. With his first love herself returned, that fortune was mine for the taking. But fate mocked my plans. What? Lulan got into a car crash? I raced frantically to the hospital, only to find by luxing beat me there. Aylin, it's me luxing. Don't you remember me? She clung to his hand, tears streaming, but Lulan stared blankly at her, until his eyes locked onto me standing in the doorway. His face lit up instantly. Yuan, you're finally here. Does this mean he's temporarily amnesic? I asked cautiously. The doctor nodded. Based on observations, yes. Why does he remember you though? His cognitive state seems unstable. I gestured helplessly at myself. The doctor beamed enviously. Perhaps this is the power of love, Mrs. Lu. Love my foot. Later, by luxing bombarded Lulan with childhood photos and keepsakes. Look, Aylin, this is from when we were kids. Remember this gift you gave me? Lulan showed zero interest. When I brought his luggage, she scowled. How dare you pack his designer clothes in cheap bags? You ungrateful orphan. Even climbing into the Lu family couldn't teach you manners. I shrugged nonchalantly. Everyone knew Bai Luxing returned penniless after her family's bankruptcy. Her coins probably couldn't outnumber mine. Zip it. Lulan snapped. Yuan can handle my things however she pleases. He grabbed my wrist suddenly, startling me. I miss you so much. Yuan, my bestie would have keeled over. Was this really our tyrant Lulan? Had the crash scrambled his brain too? I yanked my hand back discreetly. Bai Luxing glared daggers at me, but dared nothing. Everyone knew I was Mrs. Lu. After much deliberation, I decided to confess. Lulan, since you remember me, do you recall how we got together? He nodded earnestly. I know we were high school classmates, though I don't remember what happened afterward. Our connection must have blossomed naturally. Heaven knew the truth. He'd needed a nominal wife. I'd needed cash. Our marriage was purely transactional. Yet here he was, clinging to his wife, while shunning his supposed soulmate. Worse, he seemed permanently damaged. Just when freedom glimmered within reach, I became his real caregiver. Damn you, Lulan. Get your memory back now. On discharge day, Bai Luxing struck again. Aylin, brother, I found a top rehab center. You'll regain your memories faster there. Lulan ignored her, staring only at me. I think Bai's suggestion sounds great, I muttered, avoiding his eyes. No, I'm going home with you. Seriously? Giving him chances he wouldn't seize. Watching Bai Luxing's crushed face pained me more. If Lulan recovered and learned how he'd treated his precious Luxing, he'd explode and blame me. My payout hung by a thread, but I'm worried I won't care for you properly. I hedged. I trust you, Yuan. Trust my ass. Later, I'd slip him poison capsules. Caring for me must be exhausting. All I can offer is money. My phone dinged. Deposit alert. 5,200,000 yen. Over TV's past days, Lulan devoured romance novels. Now he watched me eagerly. Is this what you like? Grandma Mercy. The crash had turned him into a hopeless sap. Gazing at my bank balance, tears welled. Not of joy but greed. If I'd known amnesia meant gold rushes, I'd have hired a bulldozer to hit him sooner. Homecoming was cheerful, until nightmare began. Why aren't there any wedding photos at home? Lulan frowned. My wealth-drunk stupor shattered. Camera shyness. I improvised. Married a year without one photo? Ridiculous. Let's take some now. Before I could protest, he dragged me through 10 photoshoot themes. Fresh from the hospital, he had boundless energy, enough to warrant a police call. Can we stop here? I groaned, collapsing onto a chair. Hungry, he knelt beside me intense. Admitting weakness felt humiliating, but his stare burned holes. Yeah, he whisked me home to a feast fit for royalty. Dumbfounded, I tasted each dish. Across the table, Lulan watched raptly, awaiting critique. It's good, I conceded. He exhaled sharply. Why cook personally? I ventured. Just wanted to make dinner for you. My brain short-circuited. Observing him closely, I realized our marriage had been platonic, cursory greetings at best. Now he acted like a devoted husband. Tell me about our past, he pleaded softly. Doctor's warning echoed. Avoid stimulation. Lying came easier than expected. We were both busy, met briefly daily, but seeing each other charged us like batteries. He looked heartbroken. I wish I could remember everything. His puppy dog eyes guilt-tripped me completely. Next morning, he hauled me out early. Familiar places might jog my memory, he explained at a city high school. Security waved us through, thanks to his investment threat. You bribed them, I sputtered. We roamed campus, he touched nothing. At the snack bar, buying chips jogged fragmented memories. There was someone else. Was it Luxing? I guessed. Rumors said they'd been inseparable, till she left abroad. If she'd stayed, would they have married instead? He shook his head slowly. It was you, me. Flashback hit. My disastrous entrance exam scores had landed me here. English teachers still marveled at my extreme bias toward literature over language arts. Weekly tutoring sessions followed, until marriage revealed secret notes bearing his handwriting. One page held doodles. His? How do you know about the notes? He asked suddenly. Teacher told me. I fibbed, and you drew faces in the margins. My cheeks heated. This delayed epiphany felt deeply unsettling, that I recalled it carefully, but found myself utterly clueless about this matter. Compared to Lu Lin, I now resemble someone with amnesia more. No, that doesn't add up. If even the amnesiac Lu Lin knows about this incident, why has the memoried version of him never mentioned it? Doubts began swirling in my mind before I could ponder further. Yet a far greater problem emerged almost immediately. News of Lu Lin's recovery spread across City A within 2 days. Visitors clamored at his doorstep so relentlessly they nearly wore down the threshold of the Lu mansion. His uncles, particularly, couldn't contain their eagerness. Those wolves in sheep's clothing didn't even bother hiding their claws. Glancing at Lu Lin beside me flipping through corporate documents, I mused. Only Bai Luxing knew he had amnesia. Word hadn't reached outsiders yet. Naturally, she wouldn't leak it. After all, a memoryless Lu Lin held no value for her. But avoiding public appearances forever wasn't an option. That Lu Lin paused mid-page turn, his gaze locking onto mine. Time to return to the company tomorrow. Hardly had we arrived downstairs when 2 figures approached. Lu Lin's eyes lingered briefly on the left figure, his grip tightening around my hand. Our afternoon meetings confirmed? He asked Secretary Huang. Confirmed, came the reply. The secretary discreetly shifted his scrutiny from Lu Lin to elsewhere. With a curt nod, Lu Lin led me toward the entrance. How did I do? I whispered that he grinned. Perfect timing. Couldn't have faked it better myself. Relieved. I nodded approvingly. Training part-time cafe cats and dogs paled next to managing this only for you edition of Lu Lin. Given the stakes within the Lu family, even amnesiac, sweetened up Lu Lin wouldn't miss subtle dynamics. Though slightly guilty, I rationalized, better safe than sorry. Who knew when the real Lu Lin, that terrifyingly sharp tycoon, might resurface? My gamble? Extra dividends for playing bodyguard. Lost in optimistic fantasies, I bumped straight into someone. Sister Qiao Yuan. A gentle voice floated ahead. My eyes focused. By Luxing, Lu Lin's alleged first love herself. Why here? Before curiosity struck, 2 uncles materialized behind her. Ah, Aylin, how's your health? Uncle 2 scanned Lu Lin like an X-ray machine. Fine. Splendid. Our design director position remains vacant. Perfect opportunity for Luxing. Overseas credentials, childhood bond, unmatched pedigree. His dismissive glance raked over me. Classic move, I thought bitterly. During our wedding, they'd blocked every angle. Bribes attempted. Spies proposed. Half a year of feigned obliviousness finally made them back off. Now, deploying heavy artillery, by Luxing herself. But amnesiac Lu Lin stared blankly. Clearly, she hadn't briefed them. Address me as Director Lu. He cut in coldly. Her cheeks flushed crimson instantly. The uncles dismissed his tone as shyness. After all, with an audience present, decorum demanded restraint. As Uncle 3 compared my face to Bai Luxing's before leaving satisfied, my jaw clenched. Later, slumped on the couch filing nails, my phone buzzed. She keeps finding excuses to enter your office, fretted a voice. Why worry? I scoffed. I'd cheer if they reignited sparks. Saves me future trouble when his memory returns. Though privately calculating exit strategies, publicly I sighed dramatically. Childhood friends. Nothing untoward. Stop overthinking. Click. Silence. Then footsteps echoed. My heart leapt. Phone flew spinning onto the rug. Call still open on speaker mode. Rest assured, Sister Qiao Yuan. Any whisper from Bai Luxing, you'll know first. Beep. Dead air hung thickly. Lu Lin's eyes widened slowly. Explain. Panic seized me. It's not what you think. He leaned closer. Sofa springs groaning. Warm breath ghosted my neck. Jealousy looks good on you. Forehead pressed against my temple. His voice dropped husky. My health's fully restored. Oh hell no. My brain short-circuited as his lips neared mine. 3 seconds later. suddenly remembered urgent errands. Don't wait up. I fled faster than a getaway car, tires screaming 10 kilometers away, slamming steering wheel repeatedly. Self-berate echoed, stupid. Real couples navigate intimacy effortlessly. Fake ones crash hard. Admittedly, those few seconds staring at his face. Tempting, but waking nightmare scenario? Fully recovered Lulin remembering our charade? Shiver. Maybe I should just fake my death. Every single day, Lulin waves that novel around while conjuring new ways to stuff money into my account. The balance is already enough for 3 lifetimes that I know. No, what if the fake turned real? Fine, I'll just make Lulin kick me out instead. Miss Chow, what do you think of this one? Too ugly. Then how about this? This makeup is thicker than yours. Tell him to wash his face and come back. Half an hour later my patience was in tatters. Miss Chow, your standards are sky high. The middle-aged woman panted, mopping sweat after hauling in yet another candidate. The quality you're offering is just lousy. At that, she straightened up. Miss Chow, I'm not bragging. My Wong's agency has the handsomest boys in all of a city. Give me a reference picture at least. I flicked my phone open, pulled up a photo and thrust it at her. She fell silent. That it was a candid side shot of Lulin. After racking my brains all night, I decided the simplest solution was to parade some pretty boy past Lulin and let divorce follow naturally. Even if Lulin ever regained his memory, he'd understand. Our 1-year contract was over. If he hadn't had his accident, we would have signed the papers long ago. Miss Chow, you're asking the impossible. This face could be a celebrity's. Besides, you're just trying to make your boyfriend jealous. She read me too well. A boyfriend this gorgeous? I'd chain him to the bed. That you're shoving him out the door. I sighed. You don't know he's got issues, I said, letting my gaze drop meaningfully. Do you have anyone good looking or not? Name the price. Wong agonized, then her eyes lit up. There might be one. After dodging Lulin for a week, I finally came home openly. By now the paparazzi-style photos of me strolling with a stranger should have reached him. All I had to do was wait for the divorce papers. Yuan, you're back. Lulin bounded down the stairs like an eager puppy. Why aren't you at the office? I caught a faint whiff of alcohol. Working from home today. I nodded, scrutinizing him. Any second now he'd slam the photos on the table, except the evening passed in total calm. Had I sent them to the wrong mailbox? While Lulin was distracted, I slipped into his study, resent the pictures, confirmed delivery, and left. Another day and night. Still nothing. Fine second attempt, but the email had been wiped clean. That if I hadn't triple-checked last night, I'd have thought I'd dreamed it. Lulin, don't you have anything to say to me? I ventured over dinner. No, why? Same mild expression, yet something had shifted. Lulin, actually. Yuan, don't. He cut me off, eyes earnest. Is it something I've done wrong? So he had seen the photos. No, it's me. I waited for the inevitable divorce line. Yuan, let's have a baby. That line belonged in some feudal soap opera that my vision blacked out. Why did Lulin sound like a desperate wife clinging to her husband? Everything had gone sideways. Where did you read that? He pulled a familiar book from his pocket. It says here, if your wife does something wrong, the husband is usually to blame. I snatched it. The dust jacket peeled away, revealing the title Male Virtue. That I passed out cold. The last thing I saw was Lulin's frantic face, and I felt a stab of guilt. Even if the original Lulin had been a cold iceberg, the amnesiac one had done nothing wrong. He'd only ever been kind. All that kindness, though, was built on the lie that we had married for love. That I vowed that when I woke up I'd tell him the truth. Nurse, my friend's awake. My eyes fluttered open to find my childhood friend Lin Jia beside me. Xiao Yuan, you're finally up. Lin Jia, finals week. How are you here? What finals? It's almost the new semester. That you've been in a coma for over 2 months. I seized her hand. How? You collapsed at home. Lulin was driving you to hospital when the crash happened. He came out of it days ago. Where is he? Lin Jia hesitated, anger flashing across her face. He never visited once. 2 days later I was discharged. The moment my phone was back in my hand, I almost dialed Lulin, then stopped at a black sedan pulled up. Sister Xiao Yuan. Xiao Zhang from the firm climbed out, clutching a folder. Get in. The divorce agreement I myself had drafted, hidden under my bed so the amnesiac Lulin wouldn't see. It appeared in her hands. President Lu asked me to deliver this. I smiled wryly that as so he'd regained his memory. That I slid the papers out and froze. Alongside the agreement was a thick stack. Every property he owned, signed over to me. A chunk of company shares too. Pen and seal are here. Turn around. Lu residence fast. President Lou isn't there. His flight leaves at 2. I glanced at my watch, noon. Still timed out. I sprinted through the terminal. One shoe flying off. Yes, I bent to pick it up, fingers brushing the cold floor. A wave of confusion hit me. All those houses, all that money. Wasn't this exactly what I'd wanted? Why was I running? My heartbeat slowed. Xiaozhong touched my shoulder gently. The plane's taken off. It's okay. I slipped the shoe back on and walked out in silence. The car stopped at the Lou mansion. Everything except your room has been cleared, she said. The house was spotless yet empty. Only my bedroom wore a thick coat of dust. I'd insisted from day one that no one clean it. That I changed clothes and started scrubbing. By evening the room gleamed. That I tried to cook. 2 months rust made itself known. The noodles were so salty they made me cough. Yes, I reached for a tissue. The bowl tipped, broth seeping into the fabric sofa. Sighing, I moved the couch and spotted a small notebook. My old English notes. On the first page, Lu Lin's initials. I flipped straight to the doodled face I'd once drawn. The crease was so deep the book fell open there. He must have looked at it often. Our first meeting had been cinematic. Debt collectors cornering me, Lu Lin paying them off, then proposing a fake marriage on the spot. I'd agreed to clear my parents' debts. He claimed he needed someone clean for an internal Lu family struggle, and an orphan with no ties was perfect. Only later, during an alumni speech, did I realize we'd attended the same middle school. But now it seemed he had known me long before I knew him. The meals never contained eggs or dairy, my allergens. Rainy days, he'd appear without my calling. Things I lost reappeared on my desk the next morning. I really was hopelessly unobservant. Outside, the sky had just begun to darken. Summer, almost a year since the crash. I sat lost in thought until my phone rang. Miss Chiao, come quickly. Someone's going to die. I arrived to find Wang beaming rather than frantic. That boy you rented, he got drunk, said some nonsense, and your friend beat him up. My friend, tall, handsome, generous, left already, but if you run you might catch him. Before she finished, I was already sprinting down the street. I ran half the block and didn't spot even a shadow. I leaned against a wall, panting. Damn, how could anyone walk that fast? I kicked off the shoes that were getting in my way, tossed them aside, and slid down the wall to sit. The cicadas droned around me and I felt helpless. My elbow nudged a can, an unopened beer. I didn't hesitate. I cracked it open and tipped it back. Clink. When the can was almost empty, I lowered my head, felt for one shoe, and flung it ahead. It landed with a satisfying thud. Stress relief. I reached for the other, but this time it only made a soft, muffled sound. Xiao Yuan, do you hate me that much? Lu Lin picked up the shoe beside his foot and walked over. If I'd drunk more I could have convinced myself this was a hallucination. Damn, this tiny buzz wasn't enough. You didn't leave. I blurted. What, you trying to chase me off? Not at all. Why did you hit that guy? Hands were itchy. He set the shoe at my feet and turned to leave. Lu Lin. He paused but didn't look back. I know you hate me. Today was a coincidence. You won't see me again. Can't you just let me finish? Lu Lin, I'm sorry about everything. Which part? So he did remember it all. I heard Bai Luxing went abroad again. I was trying to set you two up back then. But you were so dense and clueless. That part wasn't wrong, he cut in. Who told you Bai Luxing was my white moonlight anyway? The A-City gossip accounts. And I was scared that once you regained your memory you'd blame me. So you don't owe me explanations. It was a contract marriage. If the accident hadn't happened, you'd already be free. His words left me speechless, because they were true. Oh, and you left your notebook. I'll have it couriered to the office. Don't bother, I said after a beat. If you do, I'll lose my last excuse to see you. Xiao Yuan, even you can't be that dense. He turned. His eyes were liquid in the half-light. I'm tipsy. I might say something stupid. Considering what you did while I had amnesia, a simple sorry won't cut it. He stepped closer until I had to tilt my head. So what do you want? I want you to make amends. He lifted my chin. Xiao Yuan, may I court you? If you say yes, that'll be my apology. Yes. 6 months of secret dating later, Lu Lin was still pestering me for official couple status. Shoo, I have a deadline. While we were apart that year, I'd replan my life and circled back to the only thing I couldn't drop, novels. I typed day and night, built a solid online fan base, and now I'm deep in a new long-form project. Career trumps boyfriend at crunch time. You haven't eaten with me in ages, he complained, tearing open a cup noodle right next to me. In a CEO romance I'd never write a domineering president slurping instant noodles, yet here he was. Give me one more push and I'm yours. Hey, this novel is about first love. Got any inspiration? First love, huh? He thought a moment. My first love was the densest, most oblivious person on the planet. Hey, no personal attacks. I lifted my hands in an X. What about yours? His tone turned odd, clearly jealous. I'd never told him he was my first love. My first love had countless admirers, and sometimes it was red, sometimes green, sometimes blue. Your first love was a traffic light? He cut in. Sure, I was talking nonsense. Dummy. My first love was money.